Yes, now I hope my screen is visible. Yes. Yes. Now what I suggest is on your browser, please type Google Colab. Please type Google Colab in your browser. Type Google Colab in your browser. Yes. Please type Google Colab in your browser and click and enter. And then go to this. What do you get? What do you get? Do you get this window when you click Google Colab? Do you get this window when you type Google Colab? Yes. Now go to File and let's open a new notebook. When you get this Welcome to Colab, please select on File and go to New Notebook. Let's go to New Notebook. Click on New Notebook. Go to File and click on New Notebook. And this is what, please confirm how many are there. I think we will use the WhatsApp group also for correspondence, so that if you have any problems, you can put in there. And I'm sure you have all joined the WhatsApp group. Please let me know how many of you have come to this page. How many of you have succeeded in coming here? Today we'll do very little, because tomorrow we will be comfortable with the environment, and you can also practice some functions at home. So today we will see very basic computations. Very basic computations. Did any one of you get this page? How many of you have got it? Just type an yes in the WhatsApp group, in the Python participants group. In case you have got it, yes, yes, yes. Okay, yes. Somebody is having some issue. They joined late. We can wait for them. Good, very good. Okay. Karuna says no. I will tell what is to be done. On your browser, on your Google browser, please type Google Colab, and once you click it, you will get welcome to Colab. You will get this, and then you select File, and under File, let us select New Notebook. New Notebook. Please try this on the browser. Just type Google Colab. And then you will see welcome to Colaboratory. Then you will see one icon which is File. Then you type in new notebook, new notebook, and please try. Yes. How many have got it? Has everyone got it? Okay. Any more having any issues? You can always type in the WhatsApp group, and we have our student coordinators also who will help us out. Now let us go up and let us change the title. Change the title as, let us say, day 1. Change the title. Do not change the extension. Let us call it as day 1. Day 1. So now I assume all of us have got this page, though we got only few confirmations. Others also, I assume you have got it. Anybody has not yet come here? Okay, now let's do a very simple. Okay, okay. Yes. Shall I assume all of us have got it? Okay, good, good. So now let's type in a very simple command, because normally if you refer to any book and see also, it always starts with a hello. So just type print, and after print you will get that round brackets. Now you put single quotes, single quote or double quote, both are allowed. Let us type happy engineers day. Have you typed in? Please do this. Print, and inside the round bracket will be there. In single quotes, you put happy engineers day. Put in happy engineers day. Are you doing it? And then you click this run cell, this single this run button that you see here on the left side. Just run it. Just run it, and then what do we see? What do we see? The first run will take some time, and see the code has got executed, and we have the result. How many have got this? Type whatever you want, single quote, and then run it. Yes. Next, see whether it works with double quote. Put double quote, and in double quote you write this is day 1, and see whether there is, what is the difference between single quote and double quote. Are we getting the same result, or is there any difference? Today we'll go slow, because all of us have to get in pace. Maybe if you want me to wait, some more are trying, we will wait. Run it with single quote, run it with double quote, and do we get the same result? Yes. So both. So in Python, we can define a string either in single quote or in double quote. We will get the same result, whether it's a single quote or a double quote. So this we saw with basic. We have not imported any library or any function. So now let's define one more. Yes. Let's go to another cell. Now let us try to simply add two numbers. Let us say A equal to 3 and say B equal to 4. And let me put, say, print A into B. Run this and tell me what result are you getting. Please try this. Let us say A equal to 3 and B equal to 4. And yes, Yes. Yes. I hope all are trying. I hope all are trying. Of course, some of you may be already aware of Python, so for them it will be very fundamental. So that is fine. They will catch up. We will. They will. I hope they find something else. Yes. So we are getting the product of two signals. Just type a double star, and tell me what's happening now. Run the code. Run the code with A double star B, and then tell what do we get a result and what are we getting now. What's the difference? What happens with A single star and what happens with A double star? Print A into B, print in one case we got 12 and in one case we got 81. Can anyone explain the second result? Very good, very good. Here it is. Here it is just a product. This hash symbol is comment. So anything we type after the hash is not executed. This is a power 3 to the power of 4. Very good. So this we have seen. So like this you can try simple commands. So now let's take one more. Now what I want you to do is we will import, like how in C when you used to import a lot of functions. You used to put an import studio.h, include studio.h and so on. Like that here let us import numpy as np. Please do this. Please type in so numpy, and we just numpy is a library which has lot of numerical functions and it helps us work with arrays. So please do this command and run the cell. Import numpy as np. What does it mean? This is a library. Every time you have to type in numpy to make it comfortable. We are calling this numpy library as by a shortened form as np. So instead of typing in numpy, I can now type np. So the moment I have this, I have lot of inbuilt functions in numpy which I can use. So let me run the cell. Please type in and run the cell. Run the cell. Have you done it? Please. So now we will learn to use some simple functions in numpy. An array function. Have you done this? Now let us take a function. Let us say a equal to. Let me define an array. Let us say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let me put print a. So I am defining an array and I am going to print a. I define an array and then I print it. Let's run it. And so I have an array and it is printed. Now print 2 times a and see what happens. Print 2 times a, what has happened? It has put a and another a, one after the other. One after the other. Yes, yes. Now you make a small change here. Go back to that cell and then put np.array and then now you run the command np.array and then run the command, and then now run this as print 2 times a, and now what happens? So now it defined an array of size of numbers 1 to 5, and now when I print 2 times a, this is what I get. Yes, so that's the difference. So here now we have called the NumPy library, and then we are doing it. Please print let us say np dot sum of a. Please try this command np dot sum of a and see what we are getting. Yes. Is everyone following? Okay, so print. So we have got an array and we got the sum of the array. Yes. Try print np dot mean and see what happens now. Are we getting the average of the array? Please try it out. Are we getting the average? np dot mean gives the average. See whether we are getting the standard deviation of the array. Print std.a. Print std.a. Do you think we are getting the standard deviation of the array? So we can get the mean, we can get the sum, we can get the standard deviation. Yes. So now let us say I call let us say b equal to np dot std of a. So b is my standard deviation. I'll just define another variable just to make it comfortable. Now let me say I print b. I print b. I get the result. Now instead of printing b, suppose I do print, instead of b I will put a round b comma 3. Now tell me how is the answer different. Print b is one command, print round b comma 3. Both are b. What's the difference between the two? What's the difference between the two? What has happened now? What is this round? Yes, it's rounded to three digits after the decimal. You just try round b comma 5 and see what we get. Round b comma 5. So you will get the result rounded to 5 digits after decimal. Let us say put 6 and then we get it. And then this is what we get. So we normally don't use so many digits. So I think normally it's good to use 2 or 3 digits. So after the decimal. So 2 or 3 is fine. So this is what we have. So in the NumPy array, you saw we are able to get the statistical averages, the mean, the sum, the standard deviation. You can also get the variance. If you want to get the variance, you just type np dot print np dot the variance of a, and then you will get the variance. Anyone knows the relation between the variance and the standard deviation? What's the difference between the variance and the standard deviation? The relation between variance and standard deviation? Yes, yes. Very good, very good. Standard deviation is the square root of the. Now we'll do one very simple, very nice, interesting example. Let us take A and A equal to A plus 5. Okay, I'll add 5 and let me print A and let us see what happens. Print A. So I'm adding 5 to every element. Let us run it and see what happens. So what has happened now? We got the new array. So for the new array, we have 5 added to everything. Now compute the, sorry, oh, I've changed A itself. I should not have done that. Okay, now you print the standard deviation of A. Do you think, what's the command? NP dot standard deviation of A. Now what happened? Now answer me my old sequence and the present sequence. Is there any change in the standard deviation or is it same? We had earlier a sequence A, then now we added 5 to every. Yes, so when we add a constant value to all the numbers, the standard deviation doesn't change. We add something. Suppose we conduct a test and everybody gets some marks and then we find that performance is not so good. So I decided to add 5 marks to everybody. The standard deviation doesn't change, but the mean will change. Let us do the mean. Print np dot mean of A. The earlier mean was 3 and now the mean has become 8. So when I add a constant, the mean changes but not the standard deviation. So how much is the deviation around the mean is what standard deviation. So when I add a constant value, it doesn't change. Okay, that was a small deviation. So now let us try to compute some trigonometric function, sine of a function, cos of a function, because whole of signal processing will have a lot of sine, cos and exponential. So today we will just see basic sine, cos. Tomorrow we'll try to plot the sine function. We'll also try to hear the sine function. Tomorrow that's what we will do. Today we will just plot. So now let us say theta. Okay, before that let's try this. Print np dot pi. Please try this and tell me what is the answer you're getting. Please try this. Print np dot pi. And what's the answer you're getting? So what are we getting? Yes, very good. Very good. So what we have is pi is an inbuilt. So what we have is pi is an inbuilt constant in NumPy. So it helps in a lot of computations because we need pi. We engineers need pi a lot, and hence if I run this, I will get this. And if I round it, if I round, okay, let me not do that before. Yes. So now when I run it, I get the value of pi. Similarly, try this. Try this print np dot e and tell me what do you get. Try this print np dot e. Print np dot e and then what do we get? Yes. Are we getting the value of e? Are we getting the value of e? Yes, yes, yes. So see again, e is an inbuilt constant. E is an inbuilt constant in NumPy. So when I print it, I get the value of e. So now just see whether we can do some operations with by using E. Let us say theta. Let us say I call theta as np dot pi by 4. Theta is n pi np dot pi is pi by 4, and then I want to compute the cos of pi by 4. So how will I get, say, cos theta? I want to get the cosine of the functions. I want to get cos theta. So what should I do? Again, the cosine function is an inbuilt function. So np dot cos theta. Just run it and see whether you're getting the expected answer, and then you want to see the result. So let us print cos theta. Just try this and see what's the answer we expect. Pi by 4. So pi by 4 and then cos theta. What's the answer? Please share the answer. Are we getting the right answer? Are we getting the expected answer? Yes, good. Nice to see answers. Please try. Please try. We'll wait for some more time. Anybody is lost or anybody could not start, you want me to just go through from the beginning, I'll quickly do it, because today if we are lost, then the whole course will not be useful. I can repeat some part if you want, because I want everyone to be on pace. On pace. Yes. So can I take it that everybody is following and nobody has got into any problem? Okay. So that's nice. So what is the observation? So just try some other value. Let us say cos pi by 2. Change it to cos pi by 2. Get cos pi by 2, run and get the answer. Cos pi by 2, what's the answer? Cos pi by 2. What's the answer? Cos pi by 2. Please put a round command here. Round cos theta, comma 3. Please round cos theta and then 3. Cos pi by 2. Run it. And the answer is 0. People are telling it is 6.12. Please note it is 6.1. If I don't put the round command, print cos theta, I get 6.12 to the power of minus 17. 6.12 to the power of minus 17. We know that cos pi by 2 is 0. Cos pi by 2 is 0. So the answer is 0, and that if you round it, then you will get, or if you're seeing the whole thing, something to the power of minus 17 is almost a 0. It's almost a 0. So put, let us say, cos pi by 3. Cos pi by 3, we will get 5. Cos pi by 3 is half. So when I round it, I get it as half. And this. So now what is our observation? Observation is the np dot cos considers angle and what should I write, in radians or degrees? Consider the np cosine function, np dot cos or np dot sine, or we also have np dot tan, considers the angle in radians. That is very important. By default, it considers the angle in radians. So now my next question is compute sine 30 degrees. Sine 30 degrees. Please do it. Type in the whole command in the chat box. I'm not giving you the angle because I find it difficult to work in radians and I'm comfortable at the same radians. I mean in degrees. So please tell me how much is. Give me the command. You all type in the command and share the result. Please tell the result of sine 30 degrees. How do we convert degree to radians? Who remembers it? How do I convert a degree in to radians? So my theta in degrees is how much? 30 degrees. So this is what I have. I need to convert theta in radians. How will I get it? Theta in degrees. What should I multiply? Who can tell me how do I convert degree to radians? Yes. Divide by, yeah, multiply by pi, np dot pi, and divide by 180. I will get, yes, multiply by into pi and divide by 180. I will get the degree in radians. And then now what is my function to get cos sine theta? Sine theta. What is sine theta? How will I get, what should I write here now? I want to compute sine. So what should I write? Np dot sine theta in radians. And then I will have my sine theta in radians. And then I want to see the answer. So I will print sine theta. But to make my answer look good, I will round it to say 3 degrees, 3 points after decimal. So I am taking the angle in degrees, I am converting it to radians, and then I'm computing the sine of the function, and then I am printing. What's the answer? How much is sine 30? Sine 30 degrees. What's the answer we get? Is it an expected answer? Are we getting the same answer? Yes. And of course, I would suggest use this. You can also do it another way. We want to get theta in radians. You can simply do, there's an inbuilt function, np dot degree to radians and theta in degree. Just see whether this also gives the same result. I am, instead of multiplying by pi by 180, I am using the inbuilt function that is available, degree to radian, and then I am running it. Just check whether we get the same answer. Do we get the same answer? Let's run it. So although an inbuilt function exists, my suggestion is please do not use the inbuilt function. Do not use the inbuilt function. Let's do it ourselves. So this is a good way of programming, because we should know, in the course, to a large extent, we will avoid using inbuilt functions. Sorry. You can try any other. How much is sine 90? Let us see sine 90 degrees. Let us run it and see. We are trying to get the sine of 90 degrees. Just check what we get. Sine 90 is 1. Again, we have a known answer. So similarly, we have a tan function, np dot tan, and that will give you the tan function. So we have sine, cos, and tan, and by default, they take the angle in radians, and if we want to take angle in degrees, we need to do the conversion, and I would suggest let us do the conversion ourselves. Yes, next question. Next, what shall we do? Let's sorry. Let's do the inverse sign. Inverse sign. So suppose I want to do please compute the in sine inverse of sine inverse sine of say get the inverse sine of 1. Sine inverse function. Sine inverse function. How do we do it? What is given? What is given is sine theta. What is given is sine theta. Sine theta is given as say 0.5. Sine theta is given as 0.5. What's the function to get the sine inverse? Okay, let's type the whole thing. If I want to get the sine inverse, anyone? NP dot of sine theta. And so arc sine will give me the inverse sine function. And this is going to give me in radians. So sine inverse, if I want it in degrees, what should I do? I'll multiply it by 180 and divide it by np dot pi, and then I will have the result in degrees. Print sine inverse. See whether it works. See whether it works. So 30 degrees. Once again say I round it. I round my answer to 2 digits after decimal, and yes, so I missed out a bracket, and so I get 30 degrees. So are you comfortable computing the sine and computing the inverse sine? Similarly, if I want of say 1.0 or say 0.707, run it and I should get 45 degrees. So that is what I'm getting, 44.99. Are you all able to do the sine, the cos, the inverse sine, and tan inverse, sine inverse, etc.? Yes. Yes. Next, let us try to do the logarithm of a function. Logarithm of a number. Logarithm of a number. So let us say the number is 1000. Let us say number is 1000, and then I want to do the log of the number. I want to do the log of a number. So np dot log 10 of 1000 of my number. So I'm doing np dot log 10, and then let me print the result. Print log number. What's the answer you get? What's the answer we get? What's the answer we get? Anyone? Yes. So because 1000 is nothing but 10 to the power of 3. And so when I do this, I will get the answer as 3. Very good. Very good. See, if I run it, I get 3. If I do log of, very good. If I do number is 100, and if I do log of 100, what should I get? I should get 2. Sorry. If I do 10, log of 10 is a 1. Sorry. And any other number. If I give the number as say 500, if I give the number as 500, what will be my answer? The answer will be it is more than 100, less than 1000, and hence the number answer will be between 2 and 3. So let me run it and see what is the answer I get. I should get a number that is somewhere in between 2 and 3. So 2.69 is what I get. On the other hand, if I make it as say, yes, if I make it as 50, 50, or let us say 80, log of say 90, then I will get it is more than 10, which is 10 to the power of 1, less than 100, which is 10 to the power of 2. So I will get an answer which is between 1 and 2, greater than 1 but less than 2. Let's run and see. Yes, I get 1.95. I get 1.95. Yes, next. Suppose I want to do the anti-log of a number. Anti-log of a number. Who can tell me? Who can tell me how do I get anti-log of a number? Let us assume there is no inbuilt function for doing anti-log, but I have power of a function. So let us say my number is say 1.95, and then I want anti-log of my number. And what can I do? I can do np dot power. I raise something 10 to the power of, and then print anti-log of the number. Just check if I do it for 2. So I am, are you convinced with this, or you want me to explain? I can use the power function. So I have a number. The logarithm of certain number is say 2, and I want to get the anti-log of the number. I can simply use a power function. What is power? Np dot power. Okay, I have not introduced you to power function. So let's first do power. The power function. So let us say np dot power 2, 3. Let us say x equal to this, and let us say print x. What will I get? I get 2 to the power of 3. If I do 2, I want to do 2 to the power of 5. So then it does 2 to the power of 5. Let me run it. So np dot power is another inbuilt command which will help us raise something to the power. So 2 to the power of 5. So we are using this function to compute the anti-log of a number. Anti-log of a number 10 to the power of this. So this was base 2. Suppose I want to do a base 2. Can someone tell me logarithm base 2? And let us say my number is 32. and then log of my number, but I want to do base 2, so I will do np dot log 2 of my number. Please remember, Python, the indenting is very, very important. If you give some extra space in the beginning, it will give you an error. Yes, log of a number, print log num. What do you think we should get the answer as? This is log base 2. What is 32? 32 is nothing but 2 to the power of 5. So when I do any question? Yes, similarly, now suppose I want to do an anti-log of a number, which is what, how does the function change? Anti-log of a number, which was base 10. If I want to do anti-log of a number which is base 2, how should I change my code? Suppose it's base 2, then I have to do it. Is that fine? Okay, so now we have seen log base 2, how to do a log and an inverse. We saw how to do a sine, cos, etc. Now we'll take something else very, very interesting. Just try this and tell me what you're getting. Say A equal to np dot please run this line and tell me what answer you're getting. Np dot A range 0, 10. I'm not sure. Wait. Yes, run this and let me know what's the result you get. Np dot A range 0, 10. And then of course we need to give print A. Yes. Can someone explain what has happened? Or let us say np dot A range minus 5 to say 6. Can someone explain this command? What do you think is happening here? np dot A range, what is happening here? If I want to describe this function, what should I write here? I want to describe this function np dot A range is start, end. It does start, end, start to. It gives us numbers in steps of 1 up to end minus 1. Yes, very good. Thank you, Pankaj. Yes. So suppose I I now change I now change this as comma 2. Now you tell me what happens to the same command. I have now done np.a range -5, comma 6, comma 2. Now run the command, and then what we get now? Yes. It will start from -5. It goes up to 6 minus 1 in steps of 2. Starts at -5, goes up to 6 minus 1 in steps of 2, and this is what I get. So now I want you to, I want my result to be print odd numbers. I want my array A to have, let us say I want my array A to have all odd numbers from 1 to 21. What should be the command? Please give me the command. I want A to be odd numbers from 1 to 21. What should be my command if I want to use A in the range? I want to use the np.arange command. What should I do? I want my result to be all odd numbers. I want the result to be odd numbers that go from 1 to, what should I put in here? Yes, Pankaj has given the answer. Yes, we'll wait for some more answers. Yes, Shashank also 1 to 23. Yes. Okay, both are right. Both are right. So we got more than one right answer. So starts at 1, 22 in steps of 2. And then if I do it, I get up to 21. Of course, yes. Good, good. So 21 or 23 also will give the same answer. Now suppose I change my question as I want to get all numbers, all even numbers. I want to get even numbers from -6 to 26. I want to get even numbers from -6 to 26, or all numbers from -6 to 26 in steps of 2. What will be my command now? Yes, it will be -6 to 27 and in steps of 2. So we always need to remember that it computes one less. So let's see whether we are getting the answer. So from -6 to 26 in steps of 2. So this is the function. Yes. Yes, someone wants to speak, ask a question. Yes, Anurag. Anurag, any doubt? Okay, next example that we will take is we will see a simple for loop. We will see a for loop, and let us say for n in range, let us say 5. I will put a colon here and say print n. Run this and tell me what you get. For n in range 5. For n in range 5. And do not forget this colon here. Put a tab will come by itself. I have increased the tab and print n. Yes, please try. Yes, we got one answer. Please try this command and then give me the result. Print n. Yes. So very good, very good. So we got 2 students who have answered. Looking for some more answers. Yes, 3 answers. Yes, very good. So you see, so the loop is again running exactly like our A-range function. Like our A-range function, it started at default from 0. It stopped 1 before and it went in steps of 1. Now here you just put it as say -2 comma 5, and then now you run it and see. Okay, let's run this. This is what we have. Now let's change it and let's now run it, say -5 comma 5 and say in steps of 2. Now tell me what you get. Sorry. For n in range -5 to 5 in steps of 2. What we get? So -5. So it is very similar to that np.arange command, but now here we are doing it in steps of 2. In steps of 2. Okay, now what I wanted to do is let's suppose I have an array. We know how to compute the sum of an array. Now I want to write a program to compute sum of first n numbers. Sum of n numbers. Let us say n is equal to say 12. If I add the numbers from 1 till 12, what's the answer? Before doing, you know the answer. What's the answer I'm supposed to get? Addition of first n numbers. If I add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 up to 12, what's the answer I will get? What I'm supposed to get? Yes, please add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 and get the answer and see what's the answer we get. One way of doing it is I can simply define A as np dot A range up to 13, and let us say print A, and let me run it. I will get this. Then I can have print np dot sum of A, and I will get 78. Yes. So I want to get the same answer but using a for loop, because I want to learn how to use a for loop. So I want the same answer. So we know if my n is 12, I should get. If instead of 12, let us say I make it as 10. If I want to add the numbers up to 1 to 10, first I'm defining it. Oh, this I should have. I run it for 10, and then the formula we know is n into n plus 1 by 2. Am I right? Here I should actually have put So if I want to add up to 10 numbers, 10 into 11 by 2, so 11 5 is 55, this is what I get. So this is one way of doing. I want you to do the same using a for loop. Do it, try to get the same first n numbers, but using for loop. So, and if I want to add say up to n numbers, so I will set my sum to 0, and then for n in range, I should go up to, yes. Oh, Pankaj has done the answer. Very good. Very good. Very good. Yes. Then sum equal to sum plus n, and then print sum. Yes. So now if I run this, I get the same answer, but by using a for loop. By using a for loop. Now next, so I hope you have followed. We can approach the same problem by different methods. Sorry. We first did it using defining an array and then adding the sum. Next, we created a for loop and it. Now, last question I want you to try is computing the factorial of a number. Let's compute a factorial of a number. Again, we can do it by two methods, but let's do it using the for loop. You want me to spend some, what's happening here? You want, anyone want me to explain this code? I will explain. Or can I move further? So we are initializing sum to 0 and we are running the loop. I want to add up to n numbers, but it will always, I need to go, any range function does one less, so I put a +1 here. So I get sum up to n numbers. So now let's take another example, and that will be factorial of a number. Please give me the, let us say n equal to 6. Without doing, can someone tell me what is factorial 6? What is factorial 6? What is factorial 6? Yes, I should get factorial 6 as 120. I mean, 720. Yes. Is it right? 120. Yes. So let's write a program to get this answer. For n in range. Now you want my loop to go from 0. If it goes from 0, what will happen? It will become, my end result will become 0. So I want my loop to go from 1 up to n plus 1 in steps of 1. Put a colon and then fact equal to fact into n. Let us see whether we get the answer. Print fact. Let us see whether we get the answer, because factorial is finding the product, and we get the answer. See whether what is factorial 1? Factorial 1 is a 1. How much is factorial 0? Okay, let's do for 5. Factorial 5 is 120. So today we have just seen, yes, we have got the answer. You have put, okay, you are going in the reverse order. That's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. No problem. But I am going from 1. There will be you. Yes, I know all questions will have many right answers. Many right answers. So we can go any method. Absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. So Are you comfortable? Is everyone comfortable with whatever we have done today? You can practice further doing some sine and cos functions. Tomorrow what we will do is we will try to take the other function, that is plotting of function, matplotlib, and we'll try to plot some signals. And that is what we will try for tomorrow. Today, whatever we have done, this program, I will share it with the coordinators and they will mail to each of you. So you can practice it, because you have built the file and it's for you to try out some more numbers. So I will share this file with each of you, so you can practice in case you have missed out on some commands. So you can try additional functions. You can go through the NumPy library and see what are the additional functions being present in NumPy. So we stop here for today. Every day we'll have a short break in between, because 3 hours continuous is difficult for you to still sit, and hence we'll have a short break in between. So we'll have a theory and a lab session. Like this, we will have a hands-on lab session. Anyone want to say something? Any comments? Any suggestions? Please unmute and speak, or type in the chat box.
Ma'am, can you explain the last program factorial?
Factorial, yes. See, what I am doing is, if I do this program, if I simply type n+1, what is factorial? It is just I need to multiply 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. And so let me before that put a print n. Now what will happen if I do this? I will get an error, and I will not get an error. The program will run. But what is my answer? My answer is 0. Why did this happen? Because by default, this function for n in range n+1 will run the loop, or will have n from 0 to n. And so I'm initializing my factorial as 1, and when I multiply it by 0, my whole, even though it is running the loop correctly, it is getting a final result will be 0. To avoid that, what I will do, I don't want my loop to, my starting number to be 0. So I want it to start from 1. 1 to n+1 when I do, then what happens? It will run the loop now. 1 up to 5. My number is 5. I want to compute factorial 5. So it will go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I had not put this 1, it will go from 0 and my answer will be 0. That is why and it's always, whenever we have a problem, just put a print command, put a print statement and do it. And so now when I do it, I will get the result. And do not put very large numbers. Do not put 20, 30 and all. Then it becomes difficult to always run a loop with small numbers. Let us say, I would say 8 or 9. 8 or say 9. Again, the number has become very large now. So, and it's too large. Don't put even bigger numbers. Then we'll get into trouble. Does it answer? So I'm initializing it with the, and we should also know that factorial of 0, 0 is 1 by definition, and hence this program will give the right answer even for 0. So say 4, factorial of 4. How much is factorial 4? So what is happening is I am initializing it in fact with 1. Then in the first loop, my n is equal to 1. Then fact into 1. Then the next loop it runs, n becomes 2. Then it gets multiplied by 2. The previous value of factorial gets multiplied with 2, 3 and 4. Including 4 I want, so I put up 4 n+1. So the moment it will run the for loop up to 4. Does it answer the question? Does it answer?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Any other doubts? How is the speed? Is it fine? Are you able to follow? Okay. So tomorrow we will see plotting of functions, and we will like it, and then we will enjoy the complete session. So it is not that we will do what are the types of variables, types of functions. No, we will learn little functions just to help us understand signal processing. We want to learn signal processing concepts and using Python. So today we just saw we are all having a working environment. We can try. You can explore further. So this program that we have built today, I will share it with each of you, so you can have a reference. And every program that we run every day will be shared. We to a large extent will try to build together from scratch. Yes. So thank you. So we will meet tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Same link for all the days. We'll meet tomorrow at 10 o'clock. I may give you want some homework problem. Homework, please try to compute sine of 30 degrees. Try to compute tan inverse of 1. Recording, I will see. I will try to share the recording also. Not sure. Yes, I will try to share the recording also. How to share, I have to see, because I have to create a classroom, and in the classroom whether I can put all of you. I have to check that. I will see how to share the recording. We will share, but we will just see how to share it. Yes. But Python code, I will definitely share immediately, because it is just 5 minutes. I will save it and share this code with you, and you can try. You can go through. You want that handwritten notes, that also I will see. Maybe tomorrow or today's we have not done much. Tomorrow definitely we will share. So thank you. So we meet tomorrow at 10 o'clock. We meet tomorrow at 10. So we will be having overall session for 2.5 hours, around 2.5 hours. 3 hours, it depends on how depends on. So minimum around 2.5 hours is what we'll spend every day. So thank you. So we meet tomorrow. Any more questions? Okay, thank you. Thank you. So, and as far as registrations to this program is concerned, even today we will accept. Today we will close the link. We will not accept any more registrations tomorrow. We will keep registrations open for today. We will not accept any more from tomorrow. So thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.